Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Pennsylvania Cable Network High School Football Game of the Week. Tonight, live from the famed Silver Bowl in Mount Carmel, Pennsylvania, the Mount Carmel area Red Tornadoes play host to the Southern Columbia area Tigers in one of those ultimate backyard rivalries. My name is Warren Altamar. I'm here with Wayne Brokenshire. We'll be bringing you the game here tonight from Mount Carmel. The game being broadcast by WKMC TV Sports, the broadcast arm of Mount Carmel Area High School. And Wayne, we are in for a barn burner, as they say tonight.
I'll tell you what, this is going to be another exciting game. It seems like there's a group of teams in this region, the Shimokans, Mount Carmel Tornadoes, and the Southern Tigers. And if people don't know, this was the first year in 30 years that Southern and Shamokin have played also, and that was just a fantastic game. We're looking for the same type of game here as Southern area comes onto the field before the kickoff. They're coming in, again, 1-1. They had lost to Shamokin in a great game. It went into overtime. Shamokin came out the winner of that game. The Tornadoes coming off 2 wins, of course, one against Milton in the first week, and last week against state touted, a very good team, big team also, Allentown Central Catholic.
Well, folks, for those of you who don't recognize these names, and if you are following high school football in Pennsylvania, there's no way you don't recognize both the Red Tornadoes and the Southern Columbia area Tigers, 2 of the most successful football programs in the state of Pennsylvania. Of course, Mount Carmel area, the winningest football team in the state of Pennsylvania, and the 4th winningest football team in the nation right now, and very quickly climbing to be number 3 from what I understand, if this season turns out as successful as it started. So you're looking at 2 premier programs. Of course, the Tigers are annual visitors to the state title game, have won more District 4 titles in Class A than anyone can remember or care to think about even. They are Class A. Mount Carmel area is a AA school. About 18 miles separate these 2 schools. So when you talk about a rivalry, this is as good as it gets. Everybody knows each other on both sides here. Many are related to each other.
That's right.
We will give you some of those segues as the game progresses. But just an all-around great rivalry between 2 teams that's been going on since about 1996 when it began, and it's gotten better and better each year. The Red Tornadoes coming onto the field now and about to take the field in front of a large crowd here at the Silver Bowl on both sides of the ball. Both the Southern and Mount Carmel side have brought their people out tonight, and they're expecting a great game. Quick note, we are following a line of thunderstorms that are converging, unfortunately, on the Silver Bowl. We expect to see that line apparently, and I'm saying apparently as no one's perfect at this, but apparently should come through here in the first quarter of this game. We're hoping not, but it is scheduled to do that. We're following that closely as a line of lightning and thunder is with it. The field here at the Silver Bowl is in perfect condition, as you all know how dry it has been here in Pennsylvania. It could probably rain for 3 or 4 days before this field ever gets muddy. It's going to be able to absorb a lot of water. But a lot of the talk earlier in the day was if it did rain was how it affects both teams. The Red Tornadoes have traditionally been a ground-oriented game. This year, as they take the field, they are not. They are a passing-oriented team with a star freshman quarterback starting this year, Marcus Wasilewski. And you keep your eye on him. He'll be wearing number 7 for the Red Tornadoes. He has passed for more yardage and more completions than any freshman quarterback in Mount Carmel history already in the first 2 games.
Yes, this is an exciting kid. He is coming in, as you said, a little green. Everybody didn't know what to expect in those first 2 games. Also, on the other side of the field, we have a sophomore coming in by the name of Heitzman.
Right.
And he is another one. He's a young player, had no experience coming in, and that's what's going to make this game, I think. These 2 quarterbacks, how both of them play. Because when you stack these 2 teams up against each other, they stack up line to line, nose to nose. Southern area's linebackers are more mature. They're a lot bigger than the Tornadoes. Tornadoes had to revamp their linebacker crew because of graduation last year. But on the other side, in the defensive backfield, the Tornadoes are coming in with some veterans that played all last year. Southern area, again, lost some people. So it's a give and take in this whole game. And I think what it's going to boil down to, it's going to boil down to the quarterbacks. The two quarterbacks are going to have to play an outstanding game to keep these two teams going.
Absolutely. The Southern Tigers, a ground-oriented team from forever, they run out of the wing tee, a modified wing tee, but not as much as we've seen them in years past. They're a more diversified offense than they've ever been now. And again, you're going to see them attempt to pass more than usual, although they have not been successful in the first two games. And they really admit that. They didn't have as much success, but they didn't need to. They have a punishing ground game. The guy you want to watch there, of course, number 27, the junior, Henry Hynoski, 6'2", 245-pound fullback. And the other guy to watch there is going to be Conahan. Conahan will play on both sides of the ball. Kyle Conahan wearing number 8. He's a senior, 6'2", 200 pounds. And he might be perhaps the best athlete, all-around athlete on the field tonight for both of these teams. He will show you both speed and a lot of versatility in offense and defense.
On the offensive side for Southern, the split end, number 28, Colby Snyder. The left tackle, number 77, Jeremy Oshman. The left guard, number 60, Justin Knoble. The center, number 67, Jeff Fleming. The right guard, number 66, Josh Marks. Coming in as a junior, 300 pounds. The right tackle, number 73, Ian Fulmer. The tight end, number 34, Jason Campbell. The quarterback, of course, number 3 is Ted Heitzman. The left halfback, number 8, Kyle Conahan. The right halfback, number 20, Dave Adams. And the fullback, number 27, Henry Hynoski. On the defensive side for the Red Tornadoes, we have left end, Mark Ambrose, number 12. The left tackle, number 72, Joe Daukus. The nose guard, 34, Jake Shinsky. The right tackle, number 71, Andy Daukus. Or number 65, Mike McCullum. The right end, number 80, Adam Parkansky.
All right, Cook, they're ready to kick off. The Tornadoes won the toss and elected to kick off. He kicks off down there around the 18-yard line. It's fumbled, and the Red Tornadoes may have recovered it. We'll see who comes up with it. The ball's at the 25-yard line. It bounced off the Southern Tiger receiver, and he has recovered it. A nice recovery by Conahan, the guy we just talked about. Ball bounced right at his chest and hit the ground, but he recovered it. It's first and 10, Tigers at the 25-yard line.
Boy, that was scary for opening kickoff. That's just a little bit of jitters. That was right into the breadbasket. It hit his knee, of course, went through his hands, hit his knee, and bounced out. 3 Tornadoes very close to the recovery on that one.
All right, the first offensive play here for the Tigers is number 3. Heinzman brings him up. He has Hynoski, 27, the lone back in back of him. And he hands it to Hynoski. Hynoski looking for some room. And he'll be brought down inside the 30-yard line, down around the 28-yard line. A pickup of about 3 yards on the play. It should bring up 2nd down and 7 for the Tigers.
What everybody's going to be watching tonight is young Hynoski here. He's a junior. He is just a punishing, straight-ahead runner. He is going to pick up 5 yards just about on every carry.
All right, it's Hynoski the other way. This time he's brought down in the Tiger backfield. That's McCracken. I'm sorry, number 65 on the play for the Red Tornadoes, Mike McCullum, a junior for the Red Tornadoes. So it'll bring up 3rd down now and about 6 to go for the first down.
Tornadoes come out in their from a 5-2. They used to run a 5-2 the last couple of years. Now they're in a 5-3. They're protecting the center of their line a little bit more this season.
Back to pass goes Heinzman under some pressure. He's got his man down there. Broken up by number 21, Ryan Kogut. He was trying to hit number 84, Tom Admire, and a nice play by Kogut, and the Tigers are forced to punt here in their first offensive series.
Now, one thing I think Coach Brennan had seen in that first game, that opener for Southern areas, that Shamokin had brought everybody up in the line, put 2 defenders to the back in the backfield. They protected against the run defensively.
All right, Hynoski back to punt for the Tigers. A low snap, but he gets it off there, and he's putting it down.
Beautiful punt.
Kogut. Kogut will take it at his own 34-yard line as he tries to find some room around the sideline, and he'll take it up to about the Red Tornado 45-yard line, 44-yard line. We'll be first and 10, Red Tornadoes.
On the offensive side, the split end, number 11, Dave Langton, the left tackle. 56, Bill Jaworski, the left guard. Number 51, James Goins, the center. Number 60, Chris Steck, the right guard. Number 72, Joe Dowkus, the right tackle. 58, Joe Tolan, the tight end. Number 48, Dave Avellino, the quarterback. Number 7, Marcus Wasilewski.
Red Tornadoes go into a shift. Wasilewski now in a shotgun formation. First play from scrimmage for the Red Tornadoes, and he's under pressure, and he looks downfield, and he's trying to hit receiver down along the 50-yard line, and that's Kogut coming out of the backfield, but it falls incomplete. It'll be second and 10 for the Red Tornadoes.
He was covered by number 81, Tyler Cox, coming out of the linebacker position. They go back to left tackle, number 56, Bill Juraski. The quarterback, number 7, Marcus Wasilewski. The tailback, number 21, Ryan Kogut. The slot, number 10, Jonas Pohutsky. And the fullback, John Scheichel, number 37.
One guy in the backfield, and it's Kogut, and he's trying to hand it to Kogut, and Kogut will be brought down in there by big number 66, Mark, for the Tigers, and that play goes maybe half a yard or so. It's going to bring up third down and 10 for the Red Tornadoes.
Well, they're running right at Marks. They respect him. They respect everything he has done the last 2 years. This kid is only a sophomore and came out of Michigan camp, number 1, a junior.
6'5", 300 pounds, sitting there. So he's a load to move. He won a weightlifting competition.
Yes,
I understand in Michigan, where I think he picked up 3 Cadillacs and a Ford pickup. I'm not sure the amount of cars, but there's a lot of them. All right, Wasilewski back to pass for the Red Tornadoes. Plenty of time. He looks downfield, and he's trying to
intercept it.
He's trying to get it down to the length, and it's intercepted on the field down there by number 84.
Admire.
Admire was brought down by the referee. Well played ball by Admire as he looked. Wasilewski had plenty of time. You'll see the replay. Here it is. He stepped right in front of Langton. Nice play by Admire. And later you'll see if they showed him all the way through where he actually hits the referee right there, and he goes down. So first and 10. Tigers in Red Tornado territory at the Red Tornado 42-yard line on the interception. Conahan and Hajnowski in the backfield now behind Eichelman. And it's Conahan on the carry for the Tigers, and he'll be brought down in there by number 12, Ambrose, for the Red Tornadoes as he reached down to the 40-yard line. Gain of about 2 on the play, second down and 8.
Kyle Conahan is coming in. He's a senior this year. Last year we seen him as a receiver or tight end. He had bulked up so much over the summer and worked very hard for this season. They brought him back into the backfield with Hajnowski.
Fakes it to Hajnowski, keeps it himself on a quarterback end run. He'll be brought down in there by Tufta, number 3 for the Red Tornadoes, and he'll be stopped. They'll place the ball down at the 32-yard line. He's going to be about a half a yard short, it looks like, and they finally line. They're going to measure it. We'll have a timeout here for a measure. He's very, very close, but he's on the far side of the field, so they'll bring the sticks over and get a better look at this thing. And again, there you see the difference in the Red Tornadoes and the Tigers. The Tigers will run the ball. They will pound the ball at you. That's what they're known for. That's what their success has always been, and you will see a lot of it, and they have the horses to do it here tonight. Henry Hajnowski, of course, playing for the Tigers. One of the neat things about this rivalry is his father was a star player for the Red Tornadoes. Back in the late 60s.
Late 60s,
early
70s, 69, 70.
Yep.
Took the championship at that point in time. It was the Eastern Conference.
Yep.
Was actually the state finals. You know, you won that. You won everything. And of course, Henry played on that team. He was a halfback also. Very good.
All right, it's going to bring up third down and very short for the Tigers. They did not pick up the first down, so third and short for the Tigers. Heinzman will bring them up. Gives it to Hajnowski. Hajnowski has it, and Hajnowski has more than that. He'll be brought down by Bartansky, but not before he crosses the 15-yard line down to the Red Tornado. 14-yard line, 1st and 10 Tigers. And a nice play by the Tigers. He was led in there by number 25, Nick Gallinow.
Yeah, but the right side, number 73, Ian Fulmer, and the tight end, Jason Campbell, were the ones that really did some blocking on the right side of the offensive line for Southern and put a big hole in for Hajnowski.
All right, 1st and 10 Tigers. There's 8:17 remaining here in the first quarter here at the Silver Bowl. And
ball's
out on the ground. Still on the ground. The Tornadoes have recovered it. The Red Tornadoes have recovered a Southern fumble down at the Red Tornado 8-yard line. It's 1st and 10 Red Tornadoes.
I don't know whether he was shifting the ball. I couldn't quite see it. He
never got all the way control of it. You'll see he had a shot at picking it up there, but again, instead of falling on it, he tried to pick it up, bounced it around, and the Red Tornadoes have recovered and turned back the Tigers' threat. So it's Red Tornadoes 1st and 10 going the other way. So both teams trade a turnover here, interception for the Red Tornadoes and a fumble for the Tigers now. Wasilewski will bring him up. Puts Lipsky in motion, but he hands it off to number 37, Scheiko, for the Red Tornadoes, and he'll take it up to the 11-yard line.
Now, something, if you haven't watched Southern play, they were always a 4-4 team defensively for years. This year, they've tweaked up their defense a little bit. They'll run a 4-3. And in this case here, they're in a 5-man line, which is very seldom that we've ever seen Southern do this.
All right, 2nd down and about 7 now for the Red Tornadoes. He'll keep Scheiko in the backfield behind him. Ambrose in motion. He pitches to Ambrose, and Ambrose is going to try to get around the end, and he does. Ambrose got some room along the Southern sideline, and he'll take it up to the the Tornado 24-yard line. Let's see where they put the ball down, Tommy, because he was out of bounds a little further up there. But we'll call it the 25-yard line. 1st and 10, Red Tornado.
Yeah, number 81, a defensive end. Tyler Cox coming over to make that final tackle out of bounds on Ambrose.
You see the speed of Ambrose. He's a big guy, but he will fool you if you have not seen him before. Once he gets going, he's very hard to catch. Kogan in motion. We hand right up the middle, and right up the middle goes Scheiko, and he'll take it up to the 35-yard line for the Red Tornadoes. Gain of about 5 on the play. It's 2nd and 5.
Tornadoes showing a little bit of motion, a little bit of misdirection here. Turning straight around, and just a dive play to Scheiko. Trying to get the linebacking crew. They are anchored, that linebacking crew for Southern, by Victor Northern. Now, we've seen him for a number of years in that position the last 3 years, and he's a senior, and he's one of the best in the state, I would say.
They're missing a linebacker, Strzeski. He's out for the game due to injury, so they are missing a starter in that linebacker core. Again, we'll go right up the middle this time, and this time it's the fullback, Shinsky. And Shinsky fights his way up to the 37-yard line. It'll bring up 3rd down and about 3 for the Red Tornadoes.
Again, just straight ahead blocking by the Tornadoes. Jake Shinsky on a straight dive play. And you haven't seen Jake in the backfield too much this year. He's been playing mostly defense. They're trying to keep him as fresh as possible in that nose guard position because of the amount of pounding that you take from the interior offensive line.
Well, the Red Tornadoes use 2 fullbacks in and out. You'll see Scheiko, actually 37. You'll see him more often than not. He's a much smaller fullback than Shinsky. Shinsky's about twice the size when you look at him standing side by side. There's Shinsky again, and Shinsky will take it up over the 35-yard line out to the 36. 1st and 10, Red Tornadoes.
Again, Cox, they're making a great tackle. It was a single-leg tackle on Shinsky. Shinsky could have picked up some extra yardage if Cox does not hold on. Good tackle by Cox in the open field.
5:53 here in the first quarter. Red Tornadoes making most of their money on the ground right now, something they have not done in the first 2 games. They have not had the traditional ground game that we're used to from the Red Tornadoes, at least in the first 2 games of the season.
Spreading people out and coming back
Kogut
with Kogut.
Kogut will take it up just about the 40-yard line. Gains about 4 on the play.
Yeah, the offense, Coach Brennan will do that. He will spread some people out and try to thin out your defense a little bit and just look for that seam to get somebody through.
Red Tornadoes, one of the youngest Red Tornado squads in recent memory, playing more freshmen. There's 11 freshmen on this varsity team right now, in fact. That's the most ever.
Offensively, we're playing with 3 seniors. Southern on the defensive side is playing with 7 seniors.
Kogut goes in motion. And we go to inside in there to Ambrose. And Ambrose, depending where they place the ball, will be very close to the first down marker.
And again, they place it.
He's out over the 45, out to just about the 46.
The way it is right now, it looks like he's going to be short from where I'm standing, maybe about 6 inches.
We're going to measure it here and see. And they'll bring the sticks out to get a better look. He's very, very close to it. But back to the youth side of this thing, of course, the freshman quarterback, only the 3rd one since '92 for the Red Tornadoes to start a football game. And they're sprinkled out throughout the lineup, both offensively and defensively. So a very young Mount Carmel area team compared to what we're used to. I mean, there's always some youth in there, but this is the first time that they're actually carrying this team as far as numbers go on both sides of the ball.
Yeah. And Southern on the other side now, when you go to their offensive side, Southern is playing with only 3 seniors. So they're also a very young offensive team. Mm-hmm. They're playing with, a lot more sophomores than what the Tornadoes are.
All right, 3rd and less than 1. It's the 8th play of this drive for the Red Tornadoes. Quarterback keeper straight ahead, and he will fall for it and get it. And that's a lot of second effort by the quarterback, the freshman Wasilewski, as he didn't have it initially, but he fought his way out, and he'll take it out to the 42-yard line or so, where it'll be 1st and 10.
Vic Northern made a great attempt to stop him that time. He did hit him high. He hit Wasilewski high, and Wasilewski did make a turn, a nice pivot, and his momentum kept him going and picked up the first down by a foot.
Great crowd out here tonight, folks. This place is packed. They're lining the fence in the end zone there, 3 and 4 deep. It's just a great atmosphere for a football game here at Mount Carmel area. Pitch it out to Kogut. Kogut's looking for a team, and he's got one. Kogut will pick up the first down and then some as he goes out of bounds.
Oh, just about at the 10 yards.
He out of bounds a lot earlier than that way.
Yeah, he did. He kept on going, but we're going to see. I think he picked up the first down. That was a 10-yard run, and they are calling the chains up.
So he takes it into Southern territory down at the Southern Columbia area 43-yard line, where it's 1st and 10, Red Tornado. 42-yard line. 1st and 10, Red Tornadoes. That's their first incursion in Southern territory here tonight.
I think what they're trying to do, the Tornadoes are trying to run to the outside and use their speed and trying to get around the big guys.
Wasilewski back to pass. He's got Langton there. Langton in a nice catch. He'll be brought down in there by number 84, Tom Admire. Admire, a junior for the Tigers.
And I think Admire is right nose to nose with Langton the whole time. Langton coming into this game, catching in the last game against Allentown Central Catholic half of the passes that he caught the previous season, the whole previous season.
Yep.
So he had an outstanding offensive game, and that's the reason why Southern is protecting him as much as possible.
Right up the middle goes Chico, and they're going to pile Chico up for a gain of about a yard on the play. It'll bring up 3rd down and 4.
Number 27, of course, Hynoski coming in on that tackle. Eric Spots, number 51, making a good hit also.
Hynoski playing some defense, and that is not something he does a lot of for the Tigers, but as we did say, they are missing a frontline linebacker in this game, so you're going to see him, we would see him more in the lineup on the defensive side than normal. Normally he'll play mostly offense. All right, 3rd down now and 5 for the Red Tornadoes. Puts Kogut in motion. He's got Zahutski down along the Red Tornado sideline, but he will not pick up the first down. They had Ambrose there trying to block, and he did make a block right on the sideline, but not enough to free Pahutski to bring up 4th down now, and about 4 for the Red Tornadoes, and we'll see what they elect to do here.
Yeah, Conahan and Admire made a great play. They actually made some congestion over here in front of the Tornadoes bench and stopped Pahutski from picking up any type of yardage at all.
All right, a 4th down play. The Red Tornadoes elect to go for it here. The ball down on the Southern 35-yard line, 4th down. He goes down the field.
Avellino.
The tight end, Avellino. Hajnowski will bring him down, but not before Avellino takes it inside the 20-yard line down to the Tiger 18-yard line. 1st and 10, Red Tornadoes.
That's the second time this year we've seen that. One on an extra point attempt, and last week against Allentown Central Catholic. It is just a fake dive play to Scheiko and up into the center to hold those linebackers, and Avellino releases into an open part of the field.
14th play of this drive began on the Red Tornado 8-yard line now, down on the Southern 13. Brings Pahutski in motion. He pitches it to Pahutski, and Pahutski trying to find the outside there. And a nice play down there by the Tigers.
Look, Northern comes up number 1 and number 25 also. Nick Gallinot comes in from that linebacker position. So their linebackers are playing great lateral pursuit here to shut down the Tornadoes from turning the corner.
About a yard gain. We'll say it's going to be, no, actually it's a yard loss.
Yes.
I'm sorry, a yard loss. So it's going to be 2nd down and 11 now for the Red Tornadoes. Scheiko's the lone back. And Scheiko takes it up the middle, and Scheiko inside the 10-yard line. Down to about the 6-yard line goes John Scheiko, the senior for the Red Tornadoes.
Initial hit made in the backfield by Marks, number 66. Scheiko gets past that, and of course Conahan, number 8, makes the tackle downfield on about the 7.
So it brings up 3rd down and 4 now for the Red Tornadoes. The ball inside the 10-yard line, and we'll say it's sitting at the 7-yard line of the Tigers. 3rd down. Langton out to the left. Pahutski on the tight side to the right. He's looking for Langton, and he goes in Langton's direction. And it's a touchdown, Red Tornadoes. A 7-yard touchdown pass from Wasilewski to Langton in the corner of the end zone. He was well covered by Admire, but Langton made a nice athletic play right at the end. Here you see it on the replay. Watch Langton adjust to the ball.
That ball was...
And there it is.
Yep, the ball was perfectly thrown for Langton. All Langton had to do was to keep Admire to the inside of the goal, and of course, when the ball got there, Langton just had to step back to make the catch.
Kufti in to attempt the extra point. He puts it up, and it is good. So at the 37-second mark of the first quarter of play here at the Silver Bowl, the Red Tornadoes lead the Tigers 7-0.
And you have to remember, that ball, that started on the fumble play all the way back.
It was a 16-play, 92-yard drive for the Red Tornadoes.
92-yard drive. Some great play calling by Coach Brennan on that drive.
So the Red Tornadoes doing something they haven't done in the first 2 games, and that's run mostly on the ground. Most of this was on the ground, and string together. And what we didn't see was something that Coach Brennan talked about a little bit last night, was those nagging 5-yard penalties. No penalties on this drive, and that's a big difference.
I see the umbrellas coming up at this point in time. It's starting to rain.
The
apparently
referees are asking both teams to leave the field. We had earlier told you that a line of thunder and lightning was crossing by us. It is right now. So both teams will leave the field, go to their respective locker rooms, and we will have to take a small break here as we wait for this line of storm to pass by.
The Anthracite Fire Company, 3rd and Market Street, Mount Carmel, proudly serving our area for over a century. The Anthracite, maintaining a tradition of volunteer firefighting and rescue for today and the future, providing training for junior firefighters, co-sponsoring community events, and working to keep state-of-the-art firefighting equipment ready at a moment's notice. Each year, the men and women of the anthracite respond to numerous fires, medical rescues, and other emergencies, providing life and property-saving skills to those in need. Staying strong to keep our community safe, the anthracite proudly stands watch for you.
Okay, gang, we are back here in Mount Carmel, Pennsylvania. The game is about to resume. Mount Carmel area is number 3. Marcus Kufta kicking off for the Southern Columbia Tigers, and he kicks it into the end zone for a touchback. Now, folks, let me set you back up. If you're just joining us, this game was lightning delayed. Thunder and lightning storm crossed over the Silver Bowl for about an hour. We are resuming play. There is 37.7 seconds remaining in the first quarter. The Red Tornadoes have just scored on a 92-yard, 18-play march and put the score at 7-0 Red Tornadoes. Southern Columbia takes over now, 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line. Again, 37 seconds left here in the first quarter as we resume play from the lightning storm. Handoff in the Southern backfield down there. We'll grab his number in a second. That's Hajnowski on the carry. He'll take it up to about the 25-yard line. He'll bring up 2nd down and 5.
McCracken, number 55, the right side linebacker, making the stop for the Tornadoes.
All right, Heinzman will bring him up. They're in that wing T formation, and they hand it off to Conahan on the inside reverse play. Conahan's loose. Kufta will bring Conahan down, but not before Conahan takes it out to the Southern 45-yard line, 1st and 10. There you saw a true wing T formation.
Yeah, and that's what the wing T does for you. It brings that motion in the backfield, going in both directions. Misdirection plays, you have to truly watch where the ball is all the time. Yeah, actually, in the game that Shamokin played in that first game of the season against Southern, they had hit and actually stayed.
All right, the start of the second quarter here in the Silver Bowl. The Tigers on their own 45-yard line, 1st and 10, Southern Columbia. Heinzelman to Hajnowski. Hajnowski's trying to kick it outside. He finds the seam. Hajnowski's loose. Kogut and
great balance.
Kogut and Kohutski combined to take Hajnowski down, but the Tigers have come out breathing fire here after the storm stoppage, and they're down at the Red Tornado 12-yard line, 1st and 10.
You see the strength of Hajnowski when he got down at the 20-yard line. First, Kogut hits him. He keeps his balance, and then Pohutski comes over, makes the hit. He puts his hand down and picks up an extra 10 yards.
All right, 1st and 10 now for the Tigers. 2 big running plays for the Tigers. Put them in deep in Red Tornado territory down at the 12 as Heinzelman, number 3, brings them out. In a full house backfield. Ball goes to Gallino, and Gallino's going to chuck down inside the 5-yard line, very close to the goal line. We'll set him down at the 3.
The left tackle, number 77, Jerry Oshman, and the left guard, number 60, doing some great blocking. Justin Knoble down in the left side of that offensive line for Southern area.
All right, the ball's on the 3. It's 2nd down and 1. They can get a 1st down at the 2. Right up the middle goes Hajnowski, and he may have picked up the 1st down. He didn't get in the end zone, but he's very close to the 1st down. We'll see where they finally set it down, and my guess is he picked it up. And they're going to call a timeout and measure this, as they'll bring the 6 out to be sure. He's very, very close. But Southern coming out after the break and looking very good offensively.
Yeah, two great big running plays. One to the left side of the guard on offense, and of course Hynoski on the right side, right off tackle, picking up about 30, 40 yards on that carry.
All right, it's 1st and goal now from the 2. Ball goes to Hynoski, and Hynoski will take it in. He was hit by Langton in the backfield and by McCullum, but his forward motion took him into the end zone. There's a Red Tornado down on the play, and that's Langton. He's down on the play.
Langton
He made the initial hit.
Great, good penetration and a great hit right there. I think he got kicked in the shin.
So the Red Tornado trainers are out on the field, and again the score now is 7-6 in favor of the Red Tornadoes. The Southern Columbia area Tigers in for the extra point as soon as we attend to the tornado down. And ladies and gentlemen, just remind you that you are watching a live broadcast on PCN. We want to thank all the participating cable systems across Pennsylvania for their support in bringing you tonight's Game of the Week on PCN. And of course, this is a presentation of WKMC TV Sports. All right, Langton is up and walking off on his own power, so he seems okay. We'll get ready to do the extra point attempt. That was a 6-play, 80-yard drive for the Tigers on that touchdown run. In to attempt the extra point will be, and we'll see him line up, I believe it's Fulmer, the big guy, number 73. And when I say a big guy, I'm talking big. Fulmer's a senior. He's 6'4", 275 pounds. There's a good chance he could kick it through Boyer's window if he gets a good hit there. And it's blocked. It's blocked. The Red Tornadoes have blocked the extra point, and I've got to say, that was the slowest moving extra point I've seen in a long time. It looks like, almost like he didn't see the count. Like he didn't see the snap come by him.
Jonas Pahutsky up through the middle. I think he was the one that made the block there. I didn't see the replay. We saw a blocked extra point last week. I think it was Kogut coming in from the right side also to make some. This time it came up through the center of the line to make that block.
But Fulmer, he just didn't look like he was ready. He looked like he was a count off of the rest of the play. So the Red Tornadoes remain in the lead 7-6 here with 10-12 remaining in the second quarter of play. Of course, again, if you're just joining us, this game delayed almost an hour by a lightning storm. We're just getting back underway here in the Silver Bowl.
Rained pretty hard for that hour. A lot of lightning strikes early on. It stopped raining completely, but the field looks in perfect condition.
All right, the big guy will get ready to kick it off. Fulmer, the same guy that attempted the extra point. Down deep for the Red Tornadoes in the middle there is Kogut. I believe that's Pahutsky on one side of him and DeMarco down close to us. They're sitting down around the 8-yard line. Fulmer puts it high up. It's going to go to Pahutsky down along the 10-yard line. He comes back towards the Red Tornadoes. He's trying to outrun one guy, and he does. A nice play as he'll take it up to the 19-yard line of the Red Tornadoes. 1st and 10, Big Red.
Odorizzi, number 82, coming in to make the tackle for Southern area. And I think also Dave Adams, number 20.
All right, the last time we saw the Red Tornadoes with the ball, they embarked on a forever drive of 92 yards and put the ball in the end zone. And for the most part, except for the touchdown and one other pass play, it was all on the ground.
Yep.
Handoff in the middle there, and that's Marks is going to make the stop for the Southern Tigers down at a big guy. And that's going to be a loss on the play of about a yard. It will bring up 2nd down and 11 for the Tornadoes.
Even last week, we talked about that a little bit, even with Jose was here at the time. And a little bit of contrast from last week. We only put 49 yards on the ground last week in the whole game.
Yes, that's got to be one of the lowest run totals in Red Tornado history, and they still won the game. All right, 2nd and 11 now for the Tornadoes. Washleski back to throw. He's got Kogut in the flat, and Kogut's open. Kogut's up the Tiger sideline. Conahan will take him out, but not before Kogut takes it up to the Southern Columbia 44-yard line. 1st and 10, Red Tornadoes, and that was a beautiful pass play to Kogut in the flat.
Yeah, in the flat. That was just a quick one. Kogut had some blockers out in front of him. Look this, no more than maybe 10 yards down the field. He has a couple of blockers in front of him, and he takes off. Now, number 82, that's Odorizzi, first makes the initial hit close to the sideline, but it is Conahan who makes the final tackle, and that was a touchdown.
Yeah, Conahan, we told you, one of the best athletes on the field tonight. Pitch it to Ambrose in motion, and Ambrose is trying to cut around the end, and he does. Ambrose, a nice hit down along the 35-yard line on Odorizzi. Odorizzi will put him out at that point. He'll come up about 2 yards short, an 8-yard gain for Ambrose on the toss around the end for the Red Tornadoes. Ball at the 36-yard line of the Tigers.
Some good pursuit. Tornadoes are having some free run towards the outside a little bit. Even in the first quarter, they tried it with Ambrose to the outside. And you can see Ambrose is a tall enough kid. He's 6'6", 6'7", and his legs do carry around the corner.
Yeah. All right, 2nd and 2 now for the Red Tornadoes. Washlewski brings them up. He puts Kogut in motion. We go right up the middle with Scheiko, and Scheiko will pick up the first down. He's down to the 28-yard line of the Tigers, where it'll be 1st and 10.
Looks like Scheiko tripped a little bit that time. He had enough forward momentum to pick up the first down.
Red Tornado offense keeping the Tigers a little bit off balance with the inside-outside plays. And again, the Tornadoes very dangerous on the outside, especially with Kogut and Ambrose. If they can turn the corner, you can see the damage they can do. This time Pahutsky in motion, and again we go up the middle, and that's Scheiko. Initial hit down there by Mark, number 66 for the Tigers.
And number 81 coming across from his position, that's Tyler Cox. Had a good first half, or the first quarter, Tyler did. He made some initial stops on the other side in front of their bench.
No gain on the play. It'll bring up 2nd and 10 for the Red Tornadoes. Back to pass, finds Langton.
Langton free.
Conahan, it's going to take Langton into the end zone. Touchdown. Red Tornadoes, a 33-yard touchdown pass from Washalewski to Langton. He was being chased in there at the last moment by number 82 down there, but he just couldn't catch him. Odorizzi did not hold on to Langton, and just like that, the Red Tornadoes have scored again on the Tigers. They scored 13-6, Red Tornadoes.
Langton was triple covered that time.
You saw the replay, how fast he got loose. All right, Cook in for the extra point attempt for the Red Tornadoes. It's up, and it is good. For the score now at the 7:19 mark of the second quarter of play here in Mount Carmel, Pennsylvania, the Red Tornadoes jump out to a 14-6 lead over the Tigers of Southern Columbia. This game is everything we said it would be at the beginning, and then some. Just an unbelievable. You cannot imagine the rivalry that takes place between the two best high school football teams in Pennsylvania unless you're here to see it and understand it.
If you really don't know the area, you're looking at the bragging rights at Knoebels Grove for the whole summer, and that's exactly what these kids are playing for.
Well, that was an 81-yard drive by the Red Tornadoes in 6 plays. The 2 longest drives they've scored. They probably put more yards on the board in the first half here with 7:19 remaining than they did on the ground in the first 2 games combined. So they are looking very sharp on the ground and in the air tonight. Again, the air attack is what scared the Tigers. The freshman quarterback from Mount Carmel area, everything that we heard he would be and then some, and he's having another good game. But he's being, and again, judiciously having a good game where they don't need to throw all the time.
But you see what the passing has done. It sort of has the Southern defense rocked back on its heels.
Conahan will take the ball down around the Southern 11-yard line, and he'll be brought down in there by Shinsky. Down at the Southern Columbia 23-yard line, 1st and 10 Southern Tigers.
Now again, Southern's coming out, and you know exactly what they're going to do. Conahan's in the backfield, and so is Einoski. And it's just straight dive to either to the left or to the right, and then if not, then it's going to be a full backfield where they run the true wing T, where they have some misdirection plays, and again, like they did the last time, a double reverse.
All right, Heinzel brings them out. He's got a split backfield with Einoski right in back him, but he hands it to the offside back. The first time we've seen number two, Jeremy Sargent. for the Tigers. Carries the ball out over the 25-yard line, out to about the 26, 27-yard line. It'll bring up second down and about 6 for the Tigers. That's the first we've seen the speedy back, number 2 in the backfield for the Tigers tonight.
He came in for one play. I think he replaced Conahan there, gave Conahan a little bit of a rest.
Conahan is buried by the Red Tornado defense. Langton, the first guy, Shinsky in there, Daukus in there, and McCullum getting off the file for the Red Tornadoes. That play lost a yard.
McCullum right here. Look at the replay. He makes some great penetration. Number 65, of course, comes in and makes the initial hit.
Loss on the play. It'll bring up third down and 8 now for the Tigers. Ball at the Tiger 26-yard line. 6:13 remaining here in the second quarter of play.
Sargent is back in again, number 2 with Hynoski.
Heinzelman is back to pass. He's got plenty of room down there.
Langton's
going to chase him, but Heinzelman on a nice run will pick up the first down out over the 35-yard line, down at the 37-yard line of the Tigers, 1st and 10.
He did, Langton made the tackle, and he did spit the ball out, and the ball went out of bounds about 3 yards down the field.
All right, so it's 1st and 10 now. You're right, they did move the ball. I didn't see it sort out of bounds. It did. There you see the end of the replay where Langton brings him down. So the Tigers still in business here with another first down. And Heinzelman will bring him up, and he'll have Hynoski as the lone back standing directly in back of him, big number 27. And he goes to Hynoski, and Hynoski's initially hit along the line of scrimmage. He'll pick up about a yard on the play, but a good Red Tornado surge on that side of the ball brings him down.
You know, they've had success going to that side. Langton comes in and makes the initial. They've had success going to that side. Langton comes in and makes the initial hit in the backfield. Stops the forward motion of Hynoski. Of course, by that time we had some help coming up from the back corner.
Second down and 9 now for the Tigers on the 1-yard pickup by Hynoski. Split backfield. He's going to give it to Hynoski again. Hynoski piled up again right along the line of scrimmage. Will pick up a couple of yards on the play. It'll bring up third down and long for the Red Tornadoes.
Oshman, number 77, leading the blocking that time for Southern area. The initial hit made, number 11, was Langton. Of course, he's making, again, some good penetration into the backfield.
All right, 3rd and 7 now for the Tigers. I'm sorry, not the Tornadoes. The Tigers on offense. 3rd and 7, ball at their 42-yard line. 4:40 remaining here in the first half of play. Heinzelman back to pass. A nice fake by Heinzelman, trying to hit Conahan, but he was too long, and the Tigers will be in a punting situation now. All right, Heitzman goes incomplete. I'm sorry, I was apparently throwing an L in his name. It's Heitzman. I apologize for that. But either way, Hynoski now back to punt for the Tigers. Down deep for the Red Tornadoes is Kogut and Pahutsky. Pahutsky number 10, Kogut number 21. Nice punt by Henry. Very high kick. It's going to drop in front of the Red Tornadoes and kind of just stop dead there right along the 30-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10, the Red Tornadoes. And you can see what the water, a little bit of water in the field did, kind of softened a little bit, and the ball just died there right where it hit. So the Red Tornadoes take over on offense here with the lead, 14-6 here in the second quarter of play.
And this is about where they had taken over before. They're on about the 31-yard line. Tornadoes mixing it up, sort of confusing Southern area. And again, remember, Southern is staying in their 6-2 defense here.
Kogut on a delayed handoff, and Kogut's going to be stopped for about a yard gain. Good play by the Tigers. Everybody kind of stayed where they belong there. I'll tell you, getting off the bottom of that pile is Marks again. He's having a whale of a football game on the defensive line for the Tigers.
And number 68 gets off the pile, Forney, Dave Forney.
So 2nd down and 9 for the Red Tornadoes. 3:53 remaining here in the 2nd quarter as Washaleski brings the play in for the Tornadoes. Straight back pass, short pass out, and he finds Langton out there.
No, Pahutski.
I'm sorry, Pahutski. A short gain to Jonas out there along the 42-yard line. It's going to bring up a 3rd down and about 4.
Southern area putting some good pressure on Tornadoes blocking, setting up a nice pocket for Washaleski. Keep everybody to the outside. Washaleski stepping up and making a nice throw. But we're used to seeing Southern in the 4-4 defense, not a 6-2. They've been running this 6-2 since about the first game of the season.
Back to pass again. He's got Kogut out, and Kogut's got it. Kogut completely fooled the defensive back covering, and he thought the ball wasn't going to get there. He turned back around, and Kogut will pick up the 1st down at the Red Tornado 49-yard line. Watch the defensive back stop here. Now the ball's out. Notice the guy in back of him stopped there for a second and didn't realize where the ball was, and Kogut picks up a nice gain, enough for the 1st down.
Number 40, though, Kyle Burns, he's putting some big pressure on Washaleski.
Ambrose, we're going to pitch it to Ambrose. Ambrose on the outside trying to get around the end, and he'll be brought down to the nice play down there for the Southern area Tigers. You see that number down there. 73 is blocking the sun out down there, but it's a 25 down there. That's Nick Gallinot. A nice play by Nick to bring Ambrose down. Otherwise, Ambrose has some room.
Yeah.
Pick up about a yard on the play.
He's playing that position very well. He's strung it out nice. That's what Coach likes to see. Coach Rock, you take that lead blocker on and you just give up a little bit of ground, a little bit of ground. You don't want Ambrose getting to the outside.
A lot of pressure by the Tigers, and that's Northern, the linebacker, bringing Washaleski down for a big loss on the play. Northern blitzing all the way, came right through. Nobody touched them.
It was a tight formation at the beginning, and there was a stunt in the middle of the line where the nose guard and the tackle split and go both to the outside, and that leaves a natural gap. Northern just came up Vic just came up from the center position.
We have a timeout on the field now. The Red Tornadoes calling timeout. It's 3rd and 16. There's a minute 39 remaining here in the 1st half of play, and the Red Tornadoes want to regroup a second here on their long 3rd and 16 call coming up. The Red Tornadoes looking very balanced offensively tonight compared to what we have seen them in the first games. Both wins, but both lopsided passing games compared to the running game.
Yeah, well, in the first game against Milton, Mount Carmel did run the ball. They sort of picked up a little bit in the second half of that game, but they were sort of testing Washaleski to see how he would come along with the passing game, because that's what he's noted for. And you see what it does in a big game like this. Washaleski's making some good decisions on where he's going to throw the ball, and what that does, it opens up your defense a little bit to the run. You know, you're able to run the ball, and they're running into the gaps, they're hitting to the outside, and you know, once Southern thinks they have that stop, Washaleski is up and he's not throwing anything far. Everything's out in the flats.
All right, big 3rd down now for the Red Tornadoes. Pahutski coming in motion towards you. Washaleski will go back to pass. Right up the middle goes Kogut, and Kogut almost, he's about a yard short on an inside handoff to Kogut. They fooled the Tigers, and they actually fooled me for a second. And he'll pick up big yardage. He picked up 15 of the 16 he needed.
Yep, he's about a yard and a half short of the 1st down. We're going to see what Coach is going to do here.
Now Coach Brennan for the Red Tornadoes looks like he's thinking about going for it here.
He might let the clock run down a little bit. There's a minute and 10 seconds left in the half. He might let it run down, call timeout, and then make his decision and go out on the field and talk to everybody.
We're definitely waiting here. He's looking at, their hand is up in the air, and he's going to take a
timeout.
So you watch for the hand to go up to say there was 5 seconds left, and then call the timeout. So 52 seconds remaining on the clock. Some strategy by the Red Tornadoes. The Southern side of the ball, I think, in the 1st half, they have to be fairly happy. They've pretty much stopped us in the middle, except now this last one was a a little bit of a trick play for them, as we were obviously in a passing situation and gave them a delayed handoff up the middle. But the Southern line playing very good tonight on that interior line. We've made some big yards when we get outside of them, and you're seeing a little bit of the speed there that we're bringing into the game that they may not have on the outside that they maybe saw last year or the year before.
Well, Kyle Cox is making some big plays to the outside. He's making the tackles, trying to keep that long run from taking off. He's doing a great job. Conahan has made a couple excellent tackles, although deep. Once we get to the outside, he made a touchdown-saving tackle. Now, in the middle, as we're running, we're picking up 3 yards, 4 yards, maybe on a carry every so often.
All right, the Tornadoes decide that they're going to kick it on the 4th and 2. He'll be kicking from about his own 45-yard line. The kick very high snap from center, but he gets it off. Conahan's going to let it drop, and again, the ball's dying. It's going to die inside the 10-yard line at the Southern 8, where it'll be 1st and 10 Tigers with 42 seconds remaining here in the first half of play.
That's exactly what Coach Brennan wanted him to do. He wanted Cook to just to put it up. He wanted nothing deep. He didn't want it in the end zone. Just let it hit and dribble around down there. And, of course, they get a good spot here on about the 9-yard line.
So we'll see if the Tigers decide to play it safe here. That would be the way to go. Coach Ross has not won 250 games in his career by doing dumb things.
But you got to remember now, Tornadoes get the ball at the beginning of the second half.
Yep. So I think we're just going to see a couple of runs here for the Tigers to get them out of the bottom there.
Yep.
They give it to Hajnowski right in the middle. Hajnowski brought down there by McCullum.
Yeah, Mark's
65.
Mark's leading the blocking up there for Hajnowski, and that's what you need. You want something safe. You don't want anything going on. You don't want any reverses down there, double handoffs. You want to keep the ball on the ground, and I think that's going to be it for this half. There's 20 seconds left.
All right, the Tigers come out with one more play as Heinzman lines them up. Split backfield, and he goes to Conahan. Conahan with some nice room there on the corner. He'll be brought down about the 14-yard line, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of the first half of play here in the Silver Bowl in Mount Carmel area with the score. The Red Tornadoes of Mount Carmel area 14. The Southern Columbia area Tigers 6.
The following businesses and organizations have helped to make this programming possible on WKMC TV.
The Academy Sports Center, 18 South Oak Street, Mount Carmel. A tradition of supporting education, sportsmanship, and community service, providing customized sports apparel and memorabilia. The Anthracite Fire Company, 3rd and Market Street, Mount Carmel, protecting our area since 1882. The Anthracite stands watch for you. Archie's Shoe Store, 828 Chestnut Street, Coltmont. 3 generations of shoe fitters, providing families and friends with quality shoes and shoe care products. Family Home Medical, 121 East 5th Street, Mount Carmel, where our clients become family. Star Physical Therapy and Fitness, 600 Park Avenue, Marion Heights, specializing in orthopedic conditions, sports-related injuries, wound care, and balance disorders, providing quality care by distinguished clinicians in a comfortable environment. The Union National Bank, 3rd and Oak Street, Mount Carmel, your hometown bank for the last century and the next, with branches in Mount Carmel and New Media. And the Vine Street Sandwich Shop, 2nd and Vine Street, Mount Carmel, locally owned and operated, serving area communities with quality foods for 20 years.
half of play of this exciting game between the Southern Columbia area Tigers and the Mount Carmel area Red Tornadoes. And we will start the second half with Jose Gonzalo, of course, a long-time statistician for the Red Tornadoes, and he'll give us the first half stats.
Okay, Warren, we're going to try to get right into it real quick. First for Southern, 18 rushing attempts for 144 yards, 0 of 2 passing, 5 first downs. Individually, Hajnowski doing exactly what we expected, 11 rushes for 86 yards. The quarterback Heitzman, 2 for 16, Conahan, 4 for 26, Gallino, 1 for 8, and Sargent, 1 for 5. For Mount Carmel, on the other hand, 21 rushes for 76 yards and 8 of 10 passing for 119. Individually, Ryan Kogut, 5 for 33, John Scheiko, 7 for 16, Marcus Wasilewski, 2 for -7, Mark Ambrose, 4 for 28, Jake Shinsky, 2 for 6, Jonas Pahutsky, 1 for 0. Receiving, Langton, 3 for 45 and 2 touchdowns, Pahutsky, 2 for 6, Ryan Kogut, 2 for 46, and Dave Avellino, 1 for 22. Warren, the difference is Mount Carmel rushing game. We knew it was going to be Southern's rushing game against Mount Carmel's passing game, but the secret ingredient has been the rush.
Well, and we talked about it last night at the supper club that the Red Tornadoes have every Thursday night, and Coach said the exact thing. He thought every week we were getting better, and that he thought, you know, this could be a week where we started to show more of our ground game. Of course, we're traditionally known for the ground game, but in the first 2 wins, almost used it, not at all, really. And last week, 42 yards on the ground and a win against Allentown Central Catholic. So a big difference in the game here. And Southern, again, has to respect the Wasilewski passing, and that's what's opening up this ground game.
Well, respect, Warren, I don't even know if that's a word that we can use for this kid. He just completed 8 out of 10, but he completed 8 straight for 119 yards and 2 scores to 4 different receivers. And I don't know how you really defend against that. If they give him time to throw, I think he's going to just have the same kind of half the second half.
Well, I think I think you hit it right on the head there. The Tigers need to get more pressure on Wasilewski, or he's going to pick him apart. He's proven that he can do that. And again, they're playing loose, trying to prevent that pass, and it's opening up, and especially around the ends. They're playing tough in the middle. That Southern line is everything we heard about it would be in the middle. But once we get around them, we're getting some room on the outside, and we seem to show a little bit more speed when we get around than they have at the moment anyway.
Yeah, you're right. They're playing the traditional Southern 8 in the box, but they're giving us post, they're giving us slant, and so far we're taking a slant. We haven't done a post yet, but I wouldn't be surprised to see it in the second half. And of course, fade in the corner to either Marcus or to Langton or Ambrose. But I expect to see Colby Snyder, too, for Southern.
Okay, Jose, thanks for giving us the stats here to start the second half. The second half will start, you remember the Red Tornadoes deferred in the first half. The second half will start with the Red Tornadoes getting the ball. The key to the Southern Columbia area Tigers, as Jose mentioned, the key to the Southern Columbia Tigers will be stopping the pass. Last 8 completions for the Red Tornadoes off the freshman Wasilewski. He's picking them apart. He's giving them a wide-open offense, and they're gaining a lot of yardage, more so than they have in the first 2 wins. So that's the struggle for the Tigers, and the Tigers also need to get a drive going. That's something that they've been, it's their hallmark. Right. Those long drives, and they have not been able to get that going, at least so far against the Red Tornadoes, but a whole half here to play. And the Tigers, traditionally a great second-half football team. So going to go down to Pahutsky, down along the 16-yard line. Jonas with a head of steam, and he'll take it out over the 30-yard line to about the 31-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10, Red Tornadoes.
Gallinot, number 25, and number 20, Adams, making a nice stop there on the return.
All right, the Tigers need to make a stop here to open up this second half, Wayne, if they want to stay in this football. They've got to show the Red Tornadoes they can stop them. The Red Tornadoes have moved very well on the ground against these Tigers so far tonight.
And again, Southern staying in the 6-2, bringing the cornerback up.
Kogut right up the middle on that delayed, and Kogut still rolling. Kogut up over the 35-yard line. A tough run by Ryan Kogut, the tailback for the Red Tornadoes.
You know who turned him around was a grab around the waist. It was Marks. He was over. He was already down. I think Joe had taken him down, blocked him out of the way. But when Kogut came around, he grabbed him by the leg and spun him around.
They pick up a 4 in the play. It'll bring up 2nd down and 6 now for the Red Tornadoes. Ambrose, he's going to go inside again to Scheiko. Scheiko trying to find a seam there and nothing doing. The Southern line all over that. Northern getting off the bottom. Conahan, Gallino getting off that pile down there.
Northern making a great play from his linebacker position that time. A hole had opened up, and he did what every linebacker is supposed to do, come in and block the hole. Blocks the hole, and he makes the tackle immediately.
They'll bring up 3rd down and 6 for the Red Tornadoes as Pahutski brings the play into the Red Tornado huddle. Langton split all the way out to the right here, and he's looking right for Langton. Plenty of time, and Langton down the sideline. Langton catches it. Langton's going to take it into the end zone. Touchdown, Red Tornadoes. Ladies and gentlemen, a 65-yard touchdown pass from Wasilewski to Langton, and the Red Tornadoes are on the board again. And right now, the Tigers cannot stop Wasilewski.
No, he's sitting back there. They put a little bit of pressure on him that time. And honestly, I think Southern had set up looking for the short pass because the Tornadoes were looking at 3rd and 4. And they come out and they throw long. Admire had a tough time. He covered them very well, but the ball was thrown perfectly over his head. Langton had to get up off his feet to make the catch.
Cooked on for the extra point. He puts it up, and it is good. So the score now at the 10:22 mark of the 3rd quarter of play here. The Red Tornadoes 21, the Southern Tigers 6. That was a 3-play, 69-yard drive. So the Southern stopped the long drive.
That's
and
right.
Gave up the short one on this one.
And the thing about it is they struck very quickly. They got the ball. It was 1 minute and 18 seconds gone off the clock, and they put it over the goal line.
Now, the interesting thing about the interesting parameter of the last pass play is he sent only one guy into the pattern. It was Langton. He was the only guy out. He was the only guy who split. He's the only guy that ran down the sideline, and somehow he was still in single coverage, which is somewhat odd. I mean, why hadn't they rotated somebody over to him? The safety was nowhere near him when he caught the ball. And I don't know if that was a blown coverage or they just weren't expecting it, but there wasn't a lot of guys to choose from. They just rolled Marcus out. Wasilewski had a couple of yards on a small roll, and he hit him going down the middle of the field there. So obviously the Tigers need to adjust to that as Langton is eating them up along with Wasilewski here. As Kufta gets ready to kick off to the Tigers. Conahan down there along with, I believe that's Aaron Adams. Who is that, Wayne? That number will be down at 32 or 22?
That's number 22.
22 is Wimble.
And Conahan, number 8.
Andrew Wimble, number 22, and Conahan there, and the ball just fell off the tee. For those of you joining us again, this game has been delayed by a lightning storm. We're about an hour, running about an hour or so late. That's why you're still seeing us on, so if it's getting near your bedtime, you're going to have to stay up a little bit. All right, Kufta lets it rip. Going to go down there, and Conahan will take it about the 15-yard line. Conahan trying to get to the picket line over along his own sideline. He's still running. Nice run by Conahan. He's brought down in there by Higgins, number 82, finally. But a nice run by Conahan, and he's slow to get up.
Yeah, Conahan has some great lateral movement. He's going back and forth, and as soon as he knows he's going to be tackled, he's moving upfield.
Here you see Conahan moving towards you.
Watch now. He runs laterally, picking up yardage as he goes. But when he knows he's ready to be tackled, he goes right upfield for that extra 2-3 yards.
Conahan was injured on that play and had to leave the field. I can't find him anywhere on the sideline now, but he did go out of the game there as he was shaken up on that return. It's 1st and 10. I'm sorry, he didn't. He's still on the ground there. I'm sorry. What? He went. I thought he got up and went off, but now he does. He trots off. He looks fine. So Conahan, number 8, looking good, and they need Kyle in this game as, again, one of the best athletes on that southern side.
On the offensive side, Wasilewski, Marcus has thrown 9 straight passes for 193 yards.
All right, 1st and 10 from the 29 for the Tigers. They've got Heinowski as the lone back. Heinzman goes back to pass. He's under a lot of pressure by Shinsky, and he tried to get it down there to Heinowski, but he couldn't on a screen pass. And that time, Shinsky was the guy putting all the pressure on from the Red Tornadoes. It's 2nd down and 10 now. Here you see the replay. Watch Shinsky came right up the middle. Heinzman had to adjust and made him throw off the wrong foot, and he couldn't get the ball all the way out.
Yeah, I tell you, the interior, the defensive line That's number 72, Joe Daukus. The nose guard, Jake Shinsky, number 34. The right tackle, number 71, Andy Daukus, putting a lot of pressure and playing an excellent ball game down there.
This time it goes to Hajnowski on the outside. Hajnowski will pick up some nice yardage on the play. It'll bring up a 3rd down and about 5 for the Tigers.
You see, though, Southern has tried to kick to the outside here a little bit with Hajnowski. Hajnowski's best move is straight up the gut. You know, he's going to run you over, pick up his 5, 6, 7, 8 yards every time, or break it like he did in the end of the first half.
A 9:38 remaining here in the 3rd quarter of play. The Red Tornadoes lead 21-6 over the Southern Columbia area Tigers. Heisman will bring him up. Again, Hajnowski, the lone back, and back of him. And we have an offside. We'll see if anybody moved. It looks like the Red Tornadoes may have jumped that time. If they did, it will probably mean a 1st down. We'll see if anybody on the Southern. I didn't see anybody on the Southern side move, so I'm thinking it's going against Big Red. And it is. It's an offside call, and it will bring up a 1st down. A remarkably penalty-free football game on both sides of the ball here. In fact, that might be the first penalty we've seen for the Red Tornadoes.
You're right.
I think on the game.
On the game.
All right, 1st and 10 now from the 40-yard line of the Tigers. As Heisman will bring him up. He fakes it to Hajnowski. He's looking downfield. He's trying to get Conahan, and he does. And a nice tackle on Conahan by Kupta out at the 46-yard line of the Tigers.
That's a familiar position for Kyle Conahan catching that ball. He played the tight end position and wide receiver last year when Latour was the quarterback, and he had an excellent arm also.
Second down and about 4 for the Tigers. Heisman back to pass. A lot of pressure that time, and he just misses. He's well covered by Kogut, but he was trying to hit number 28 down there, Colby Snyder, just over his head. It'll bring up 3rd down and 4.
Again, Mike McCullum, number 65 for the Tornadoes, putting some pressure on Heitzman that time, getting him back a little bit. And I think Joe Daukus was up in the air also that time to get the ball up. Big play for Southern.
Hajnowski on the play. Hajnowski has some room. Langton will stop him, but Hajnowski will pick up the 1st down by a yard. He's out over the 50-yard line in the Red Tornado territory at the Mount Carmel 48-yard line, 1st and 10. That's vintage Hajnowski there.
That is Hajnowski, and what's great, if you watch his running, what he does is he lowers his shoulders so the defender cannot get at his legs. And his legs are going all the time, and that's the reason why he picks up the extra yardage that he does.
Right up the middle is Hajnowski.
And he's got blockers in front.
Hajnowski free. Kogut will bring him down. That was a pretty play by the Tigers. Hajnowski right up the middle now. And the Tigers have some life now on offense as they're down to the Red Tornado 26-yard line, 1st and 10.
Boy, you see the burst of speed as soon as Hajnowski touched that ball going through the line of scrimmage. He had 3 blockers in front of him as he went through. Picks up some beautiful blocking downfield, and that's where the extra yardage came from.
Okay, 1st and 10 for Heisman and his group as they get lined up. Conahan will come in motion, and it goes to Conahan around the end. Conahan will be stopped down there. Initial hit was by Parkansky and then brought down, and we'll see who gets off the pile. Big Joe Daukus is down there along with Langton. Langton all over the field on offense and defense for the Red Tornadoes here.
They bring in Andy Daukus, number 71. Joe Daukus is in. We're trying to beef it up here a little bit when we get down, when Southern gets down into that red zone.
2nd down and 7. 3-yard gain on the play for Conahan. Split backfield and back of Heisman. And he goes to Hajnowski again, and Hajnowski will be brought down over the 20-yard line, about the 19. It'll bring up 3rd down and about 3 for the Tigers.
Boy, Hajnowski just has great peripheral vision of the field as he's carrying that ball. And he saw Parkansi coming in from that left side, pushed him, brought him back, and he automatically turned towards the center of the field and took off.
An official timeout on the field here for a second as I'm looking. They're looking at a helmet or something. We did a correction that we all got our heads together at halftime, and it looks like Phil Chicatano actually was on the block of the extra point. Many of us had said Pahutski. We believe now it might have been Phil Chicatano after everybody's head was combined to to get that right. So I want to give everybody the right amount of credit.
The funny part about it, we saw one. The press box saw the same thing, but all the newscasters over on the other side saw something else.
All right, 3rd and 3 now for the Tigers. And there's an offside. It'll be a motion penalty, 5-yard penalty against the Tigers. It'll bring up 3rd down and 8 now, and that was a costly penalty.
Yeah, it was. A little anxious trying to move, 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4, trying to pick up that critical 1st down.
Folks, if you're a high school football fan, you're going to love the Pennsylvania Cable Network. Coming up in December, PCN will air all 4 PIAA championship games live from Hershey Park Stadium. When you're looking for high school sports, turn to PCN, Pennsylvania's championship network. All right, a 3rd and 3 turns into a 3rd and 8 now for the Tigers, significantly changing the play call for Coach Ross and his crew. Heinowski, the lone guy in the back. Heinzen goes back to pass. Had some pressure, and he just couldn't get it. The pressure came down there by Daukus, number 71. He put all the pressure, Andy Daukus, and caused Heinzen to throw short. It brings up 4th down and 8 now for the Tigers. There's 6:02 remaining here in the 3rd quarter of play.
A little breakdown. Heitzman has been having some good protection in the backfield when he's going back to pass, but that time coming through the interior of the offensive line was Andy Daukus, number 71, to make the hit on Heitzman.
All right, a big 4th down call now for the Tigers. As they'll line up 4th and 8 at the Mount Carmel area, 24-yard line. Mount Carmel moving around a lot. And Heinzman goes down. That's big Joe Daukus will take Heinzman down on the 4th down play. The Red Tornadoes take over on down on the sack by Big Joe Daukus.
And you see why Coach beefed up the line a little bit defensively. In one play, Andy Daukus comes in, and of course on the critical 4th down play, who eats him alive? And it was Joe Daukus.
All right, that was a critical play for the Tigers, and it didn't go their way. Now they need to regroup a little bit and stop Big Red here if they want to stay in the football game. There's still 5:55 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Plenty of time for the Tigers, but they need to make a defensive stop here if they want to keep this game close. Ambrose in motion, but we go the other way, and that is the Kogut, the tailback, and he'll pick up a couple of yards on the play. It'll bring up 2nd down and 8. He stopped in there by
number one, Northern. He made the initial hit, and it looks like number 26 also for Southern, Sober. Corey Sober, number 26, also making the tackle.
68 Forney was also in there helping out. Give him 3 yards on the play. It'll bring up 2nd down and 7, actually, for the Red Tornadoes. Same play this time we pitch it to him. He tries to get it outside as Ambrose, but a nice play in there by number 80.
Orderizi comes up from that corner position. Came up very nice. He saw Ambrose coming around the end, comes up, stops him from turning the corner, and makes a nice open field tackle.
Yeah, nice play by Orderizi. And that's the only way to stop that is to bring that corner pressure.
Yep.
You've got to get up there, and because if you don't make the tackle, it's a big yardage gainer. So he did a nice job on that play. It'll bring up 3rd down and 7 now for the Red Tornadoes. The ball at their 34.
We'll see if we got a stun here with Northern coming up through the middle, because Heinowski came in as that in the right linebacker position.
Ambrose will come in motion. And we tried to send it over there to Langton too long, as Langton was never going to catch up. He's claiming he was held up, but it was a good defensive play by number 84, Tom Admire, on Langton.
Yeah, Admire's been one-on-one with him most of the night.
All right, it brings up a 4th and 7 for the Red Tornadoes, and they'll be punting. And they have not done that very often. In fact, this may be their first punt. Have they punted before this one?
Yeah, one time and a half.
Yes,
put
they
it
did,
down
yes,
on
they
the
put it down,
7-yard line.
to the 7. So the second punt of the evening for the Tornadoes as Cook gets a perfect center back, and he lets it rip. It's going to drop down, and Conahan calls for a fair catch, and he held fair catch it down about the 27-yard line. He looked like he was going to run there for a second,
Yeah,
and that could be a penalty, but he did not. Just a shaky fair catch play, but Conahan does the job, and it's 1st and 10 Tigers down at the Tiger 27.
Well, Tigers again, you know, I mean, this is now getting a little urgent for them. It's 4-14 in the third period here.
All right, Heinzman brings him up. He's got Hajnowski in the back. Sargent in motion by Hajnowski with the call right up the middle. Hajnowski will gain about 2 yards in the play out to the 29-yard line. It'll bring up a 2nd down and 8. And again, McCullum getting off the bottom down there. Let's see, McCullum was down on the bottom down there. We also had McCracken. McCullum and McCracken, the MC group there, were down there. Hajnowski trying to get to the outside now. He picks and chooses his way. Nice run by Henry Hajnowski. Out over the 40-yard line, out to the 42-yard line for the first down.
As soon as he hits that hash mark where those numbers are at, he's turning upfield. He doesn't care who's in front of him, how many guys are in front of him from the Tornadoes. He's just turning upfield, and he's picking up some big yardage for Southern area.
Hajnowski the other way. Hajnowski finds some room in the middle. Hajnowski's loose. Hajnowski's loose down the field. He's got a nice block down there. Going to take Chinsky to bring him down all the way down at the Red Tornado 20-yard line. And now it's the Henry Hajnowski show all of a sudden for the Tigers.
Yeah, we've seen that in the first half. Hajnowski, at the end of the first half, drove all the way down and scored for Southern. That time they pulled Marks. That play was supposed to go to the outside, going to the right, because Marks had pulled and he was leading out there to block. When he pulled, he made a natural hole in the offensive line, and that's where Hajnowski went.
Yep.
Right up through that natural hole and just took off, and he actually broke to the left of the field.
Okay, 1st and 10 from the Red Tornado 20.
Ball's on the ground.
Ball was
Tornadoes
fumbled.
have it.
And the Red Tornadoes, well, let's wait till we have a call here. Red Tornado, McCullum. McCullum on the fumble from the center to the quarterback, and McCullum picks it up. And that was a devastating blow to the Tigers here. Late in the third quarter, the Red Tornadoes take over on the 20-yard line, 1st and 10.
Yeah, that ball never got into Heitzman's hand. It hit the ground, and McCullum just jumped right on the ball. It was right in front of him.
That's just a tough mistake. You know, you center the ball how many times between practice and everything else, and you make one mistake at a crucial moment there. All right, Red Tornadoes up to the line in the I backfield. Kogut with the ball, and Kogut hits about the 21-yard line. He'll be stopped. Gain of about a yard on the play. Nice play by at least 5 Tigers down there.
Yeah, come over.
Kogut.
Northern, I think Northern number 1, he was the initial man that made the hit over there.
You saw, it looked like a lot of room was there when he came through the hole, but the Tigers closed it very quickly. In fact, we're going to say no gain on the play.
Yeah.
Let's bring up 2nd down and 10.
Now, see what the Tornadoes doing. The last couple pass patterns, it was Langton was out there by himself. They left everybody in the block for Marcus.
All right, he puts Pahutski out far left, and he brings Kogut in motion, and we give it to Ambrose, and that play goes nowhere. Northern on the play, along with 66 Marks blew that play up.
Yeah.
That was an inside sally, but they were all over it. Too much penetration by those two guys, and it brings up a 3rd down now and about 12 on a 2-yard loss on the play for the Red Tornadoes.
Coach is talking to Langton now, sends the play in. Sometimes Marcus Wasilewski comes over and Coach gives him the play.
Pass play. A lot of room, a lot of time, and he's going to keep it, and he's going to be taken out of bounds. Nice play in there by number 25, Nick Gallineau, for the Tigers, and it's 4th down as the Tigers make a great defensive stand after the fumble.
And they needed that. They needed to make that stand, stop the Tornadoes. They have 1:16 left. You know, the way Hynoski has been carrying the ball and running the ball, he could score in 1:16 seconds.
All right, Kufta back to punt, and he's punting back deep in his own territory, right along his own goal line. Center is back and very nice, and Kufta lets it roll. Caught by number 84 down there, and he's going to slide down. He tried to make a play. Admire tried to make the play at the 45-yard line and slid down again. We've had rain here, and couldn't make the cut, so it's 1st and 10 in Tornado territory, though, for the Tigers at the Tornado 45-yard line.
They picked up a good exchange here this time. Southern area now starting with the ball inside the Tornadoes' end of the field.
Red Tornado defense has been tough all evening. They've bent but not broke, and that's pretty much the way they've been the last couple of games. Hynoski tries to break it outside. He finds some room, but he'll be brought down in there by Shinsky, number 34 for the Red Tornadoes, with help from Kufta.
Knoble kicks out. He's the pulling guard there, number 60, I think he is. And he kicked out on Mark Ambrose. Mark Ambrose was retreating a little bit, and that stopped Hynoski from kicking to the outside. He had to go to the inside right off tackle.
2nd and 5 now. A 5-yard pickup from Hynoski on that 1st down play. Conahan now, and Conahan's behind Marks, and he's got some room. Ooh! And Carnahan is drilled in there by Kogut down along the 36-yard line. Not enough for the 1st down. We'll bring up 3rd down and 1. That was a nice hit by Kogut on Conahan.
Nice hit. Number 73, Fulmer, the lineman on the right side, leading the block down there. They're starting to make some penetration with their blocking.
All right, there's 4 seconds left here in the 3rd period as the Tigers try to line up and center the ball. They get it off right up the middle, and it's Hynoski. And Hynoski, a great play by Hynoski with no time left on the clock in the 3rd period. He's brought down by Ambrose down along the 24-yard line where it's 1st and 10. Tigers, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of the 3rd quarter of play with the score of the Red Tornadoes of Mount Carmel area 21, the Southern Columbia Tigers 6.
The following businesses and organizations have helped to make this programming possible on WKMC TV.
The Academy Sports Center, 18 South Oak Street, Mount Carmel. A tradition of supporting education, sportsmanship, and community service, providing customized sports apparel and memorabilia. The Anthracite Fire Company, 3rd and Market Street, Mount Carmel, protecting our area since 1882. The Anthracite stands watch for you. Archie's Shoe Store, 828 Chestnut Street, Colma. 3 generations of shoe fitters, providing families and friends with quality shoes and shoe care products. Family Home Medical, 121 East 5th Street, Mount Carmel, where our clients become family. Star Physical Therapy and Fitness, 600 Park Avenue, Marion Heights, specializing in orthopedic conditions, sports-related injuries, wound care, and balance disorders, providing quality care by distinguished clinicians in a comfortable environment. The Union National Bank, 3rd and Oak Street, Mount Carmel, your hometown bank for the last century and the next, with branches in Mount Carmel and New Media. And the Vine Street Sandwich Shop, 2nd and Vine Street, Mount Carmel, locally owned and operated, serving area communities with quality foods for 20 years.
All right, guys, back here for the 4th quarter of play here in this game between the Southern Columbia area Tigers and the Mount Carmel area Red Tornadoes. There's 12 minutes left to play. Score 21-6 Red Tornadoes, but the Tigers are driving in Red Tornado territory, 1st and 10 at the Red Tornado 24.
Most of this drive has gone to the right side over Marks and Fulmer.
Hynoski, great move by Hynoski, and he's still on his feet. Perhutsky will finally bring him down, but I mean, you don't see a better play than Hajnowski just made on that run. As he takes it inside the 10-yard line down to the Red Tornado 8-yard line where it's first and goal from the 8.
And again, Coach Roth in this whole series has been running, the last two anyway, over Marks and Fulmer, over his two big linemen, and they're making some penetration into the defensive line against the Tornadoes and moving them downfield, and that's why Hajnowski's picking up some big ground.
All right, first and goal from the 8. Heinzman brings him up. Split backfield now between Gallino and Hajnowski. And the ball will go to Gallino behind Hajnowski. He's got a good lane, and he takes it in. Touchdown, Southern Columbia Area Tigers. At the 11:30 mark of the fourth quarter, Gallino, number 25, takes it in from the 8-yard line. And the Tigers now have a decision to make. Do they go for 1 or 2, Wayne?
Well, you know, you at this point in the game, you want the 1. You want to make sure you kick the extra point, you pick up that 1. So if you score the next time down, then you go for the 2.
Hajnowski, a nice lead block as he went through the hole to put Gallino into the end zone. And they're going to go for 2 here. They're going to go for 2 as they missed an extra point early on in the game. It's 21-12, and Heinzman will line them up for the 2-point conversion. Keeper, Heinzman on a keeper. They strung him out. He didn't get in. Langton made the play, and Heinzman did not get into the end zone, so the score will remain. Mount Carmel area 21, Southern Columbia area 12. The Tigers about to kick off. All right, we got a short moment here, guys. Let me tell you how this game gets to you, other than through PCN. Of course, this is WKMC TV sports production. On the camera tonight, we have Dave Hummel, Adam Jurafsky, Mike Purcell, Jared Cambry, and Jesse McPhee. Graphics is Caitlin Kinger. We have the cable grip, Aaron McPhee, Greg Minning, Cody Minning, and Robin Hampton. And the Masters Control Center is Scotty Bullock. Again, an all-student run operation here, folks. Doesn't get any better than that. Again, compliments of the PCN cable network. We are live tonight. And again, we want to say thank you to our cable affiliate who actually gets us on the TV at Service Electric Cable TV out of Sunbury. And they are a member of PCN. Perhutsky at the 10-yard line. And Perhutsky goes down as the field now starting to show some water problems, as that's the second or third slip we've seen in the last couple of minutes.
Well, you don't realize that the field is wet. It did rain fairly hard, but there's a steam or a mist that is now coming off the grass. So I would assume that it's a little wet down there and damp.
All right, Wasilewski trots into the Red Tornado huddle here. 11:27 remaining in this football game. The Tornadoes up 21-12. We'll see what they have in store on offense as they start the game at about the 24-yard line. Puts the motions, he goes back and he finds Langton, and Langton can't hold on. He had Langton about the 29-yard line, but again, you're seeing the effects of the ball being... This is really weird. Well, it's been dry here forever, but it rained heavily, and now all of a sudden in the fourth quarter and the end of the third quarter, footage is the problem and the ball slippery.
I think Langton was sort of looking upfield a little bit before he caught the ball. He had a good catch going there. All he had to do was watch the ball right into his hands. Number 84, Admire, though, all over him that time. He did have good pass protection.
All right, 2nd and 10 now for Wasilewski. He has a split formation, both right and left. He hands it off to Kogut. Kogut has some room, and Kogut's loose into the defensive backfield of the Tigers, and he takes it out to the Red Tornado 39-yard line, 1st and 10. Had everybody split up and delayed. Here you see the delay hand off to Kogut. And watch him pick his way upfield. Some good blocking
in the center of that line, and he did pick his way. There's number 84, Admire, and of course Conahan, number 8, making the tackle again.
First down, we pass it out to Kupta, and he's buried. He's buried right away.
Sober.
Nice play by 26 down there. Corey Sober. Corey Sober is a junior, 6'2", 175-pound defensive back for the Tigers.
Yeah, he came up immediately as soon as that ball was caught and makes a good tackle. Don't forget, when you're throwing that ball and the receiver catches that, he has a blocker right in front of him to try to break him to get him some extra yardage downfield.
And you can see the graphic, the time remaining here in the football game and the score. Second down now and 13 on a 3-yard loss.
Double reverse, ball's down.
Kogut recovered it. You're right, it's double reverse, and again, under these field conditions, I would say don't do that.
Yeah.
Under the conditions now, and I don't know why this field has gotten the way it is, but I would not do that. It brings up third down, and let's see where we're at here. Third down and about 20. And the Red Tornadoes need to get some offense. They've kind of gone into a shell here all of a sudden.
They're playing conservative ball.
And they need to get some offense rolling here to keep Southern honest here, because Southern's been running very well here in the second half. I formation in back of Washaleski now on a 3rd and 20 call for the Red Tornadoes.
Washaleski using up as much time as possible.
Hand off to Kogut, and Kogut's going to be brought down there very early. Northern was the first guy in to trip him up, and that'll bring up 4th down, and the Red Tornadoes had a very ugly-looking set of downs there on offense.
Yeah, Southern tightened up their defense a little bit. They're playing some good smart ball. They're hitting the line and waiting for something to happen and come to them.
Took the back to punt. He's punting from about, he'll end up punting from about his 15-yard line. When he gets it, he does. A nice kick, drives the Southern back to about the 34-yard line. That's number
Snyder. 28.
Snyder down the sideline. Snyder has the lane. Snyder's going to take it all the way back. And he'll be brought down in there finally on a great run by Snyder. He's brought down in there, but I'm trying to see the number. Kogut brought him down finally.
Yep.
But that's as pretty as it gets.
Yeah,
Watch
here
the
it
play
is.
Here.
Look at the replay, and look at the fence that they set up. All the way down in front of their bench, some great blocking as they go down. And Snyder just picked his way. He tight-roped that out-of-bounds line all the way down until Kogut makes the stop.
It's 1st and goal from the 8 now for the Tigers on the Colby Snyder punt return. End zone, he's in. Touchdown, Conahan. An 8-yard run by Conahan puts the Southern Tigers in the end zone, and they have come roaring back to life in this football game. The Red Tornadoes now on their heels as they're clinging to a 21-18 lead, and the Tigers look like they're going to go for 2. No, they're going to go for 1, I believe, Wayne.
Yeah.
They're going to try to kick it. Let me see where they do here. No. Yes, they are. There's the bell. Looking for the
don't forget, in the Shamokin game, they were kicking field goals left and right.
Yeah.
Both Shamokin and Southern. So that's what he's looking at here. Pick up the 1-point field goal will give him a win.
This time Fulmer got it up, and he's good. So the Tigers now at the 8:25 mark of the 4th quarter crawl to within 2 points of the Red Tornadoes. The score, Mount Carmel area 21, Southern Columbia area 19. Reminder, ladies and gentlemen, you are watching the Game of the Week on PCN, Pennsylvania's Championship Network, brought to you by nearly 150 cable systems across the Commonwealth. PCN, only on cable. All right, momentum is on the black and gold side of the ball right now, folks. This has been just a rip-roaring football game. Just seesawing back and forth here. And now it's 2 points. separate these two fine programs. Fulmer's got it teed up. He lets it go. It's going to head to Pahutsky about the 7-yard line. As Pahutsky comes upfield. And once again, Pahutsky slips. And they need to now adjust to the field. The field is much more slippery than we had anticipated. The rain has really made that field like ice now as he goes down almost the same way as he did before. 1st and 10, Red Tornadoes. Ball on the Red Tornado 24-yard line.
So they're staying in their 6-2.
Back to pass. He's looking for
Langton
down there. Well covered that time by number 84 from the Tigers. He's been the guy all over him each time, Admire. He's pretty much had Langton all night. And that time a great defensive play by Admire.
Yeah, Admire's been on him the whole night, playing him very, very close. Some good passes in the first half by Wasilewski to put the ball where Langton had to make some critical moves to make a catch. But now Admire is a little bit closer and playing a little bit tighter this half.
All right, Langton will come out of the game for the Tornadoes, and Ambrose, number 12, and he'll come out split far left of Wasilewski in the formation. This time we'll try to head to
Admire interception.
Admire intercepted the exact same play as the play before, only this time it went to Ambrose, and the freshman threw an interception.
Admire put himself in the correct position that time.
Yeah.
Stepped right in front of Ambrose and makes the interception.
Well, he just saw the play seconds ago, the same play. So we came back to the well once too often, and Admire makes a fantastic defensive play. The Tigers now in business on offense, 1st and 10 from the Red Tornado 29.
And they're out there. Take a look. That offensive line looks like it has a little bit more pep than it did at the end of the first half.
Hajnowski's loose out.
Look at that.
Bring
Look
that
at
guy down.
Hajnowski.
He won't go down until he hits the Red Tornado 13-yard line. 1st and 10 from the 13.
You think he would learn by now.
Watch, he's coming right at you now. Watch this run.
All high tackles, nothing down low. Look at this. Hajnowski carried. Who is that? Pahutsky.
Chicatano.
He carried him about 10 yards.
Under 8 minutes to play now in this football game, and what a football game it's been here from the Silver Bowl in Mount Carmel. Split backfield, we head up to Gallino, number 25, and Gallino is inside the 10-yard line. It's first, well, it's not first to go. They can get a first down. Let's see, he didn't make it to the first down.
No, he did not.
5. He's at the 5.
He's going to be about 1.5 yards short.
All right, it's 2nd down and, 2. We're far away from that marker, but it's a long 2. 2nd down and 2, and it's actually 5 for the touchdown as Heinzman brings him up, and he goes outside, and
touchdown.
That is Conahan, and Conahan is in the end zone, and the Tigers have taken the lead over the Red Tornadoes here at the 7:07 mark. The Tigers 25, the Tornadoes 21, and the extra point attempt to follow.
Conahan goes in untouched that time. Some good blocking on the right side. And again, they're running over Marks, number 66, and Fulmer, number 73 on the right side, who are just doing some outstanding blocking for that offense.
All right, we got, I believe we're looking at a timeout on the field here. We are. The Tigers look like they're going for 1, I thought. And I'm still thinking that's what they're doing. The timeout on the field, they're going to talk about it on both sides of the ball here to see what they're actually doing.
You know what they're looking at? They go for 2 here. They get 27. They're 6 points ahead. Mount Carmel scores. That's 6 points. They tie the game up. If they block, we go into overtime.
Okay. Well, that's good strategy there. All right, we'll see if that's what they decide to do on the southern side of the ball here as Coach Roth is in there. Coach Roth, one of the most successful coaches in Pennsylvania history. He picked up his 250th win last week against Bloomsburg, and that's certainly a milestone, and he's a shoo-in for the Hall of Fame in Pennsylvania when his time comes, that's for sure. And you're seeing Southern Columbia Tigers showing a lot of heart in this football game as they are almost out of it and have crawled back and now lead, and they are going to go for two here. They line up in a split backfield.
Pass.
He's going to pass it out there, and he didn't get it. Falls incomplete. He was well covered by Kupta, and he's trying to reach Conahan there along the goal line and couldn't get him. So the score will remain now. Southern Columbia area 25, Mount Carmel area 21. The Red Tornadoes are going to have to do something offensively. They've done nothing offensively for the past 6 or 7 minutes now in this game.
Right.
They've done nothing.
Yeah, they need to move the ball a little bit. They had some great drives going in the first half, and the last 3 possessions that they had were 3 and out. They had to punt the ball.
Again, this game running very late, folks, because of about an hour delay due to a lightning storm that passed over the Mount Carmel area here. We've got 7 minutes and 7 seconds remaining in the football game. The Tigers kicking off to the Red Tornadoes. And Pahutsky will take this and let it go.
Ooh, it didn't go out of bounds.
He's going to let it go out of bounds, and it didn't. He's going to cut it upfield, but a good start for the Tigers as they're going to tackle Pahutsky. And actually, there was not a whole lot he could have done on that. You would have thought it went out of bounds and it turned the other way and turned back inside.
They're taking the ball over exactly at the 10-yard line. Yeah, Pahutsky couldn't have done. I mean, if he would have picked the ball up, he might have picked another 10 yards. And he might have got it back to the 20-yard line if he would have caught that ball.
All right, there it is. You see it there, folks. They're on the 10-yard line. It's 1st and 10. The Tornadoes trail by 4 here in the 4th quarter. Wasilewski brings the play into the huddle. Swing pass out to Pahutsky. It'll gain about a yard. Nice play.
I think he actually lost yardage on that.
Conahan and Ordereasy.
He's going back about 3 yards. Some good play there. Ordereasy coming up to make that tackle. Actually lost almost 5.
You're right. They're going to place the ball down at a 4-yard loss. You place it down at the 6. So it brings up 2nd down and 14 for the Red Tornadoes. Wasilewski straight back to pass, takes his time. He's trying to get Langton down there.
He does. Oh, nice play by Conahan.
Nice play by Conahan.
Admire falls down on about the 30. The ball comes down around the 40, but Conahan comes over from the strong safety position and blocks the ball out of bounds.
That was the same play that he scored on before, where, again, Conahan, the safety, I wondered where he was on that play. This time he did what I thought. He covered where he belonged, and he made a great play. Brings up 3rd and 14 now for the Red Tornadoes. Again, straight back. He has some time, and he's sending it out to Pahutsky this time.
Pahutsky makes the catch.
All the way out at the 50-yard line. A 44-yard pass from Wasilewski to Pahutsky out to the midfield stripe, and it's 1st and 10, Red Tornadoes. The ball was in the air. It seemed like forever. Yeah. They were both trying to adjust to it. Here you see it coming down. You can see how close they were.
Now look at Conahan in correct position as a safety. He makes sure that Pahutsky does not get behind him and pick up either extra yardage or a touchdown. A little bit of breathing room for the Tornadoes now. They can look into their playbook a little bit more.
Under a lot of pressure this time. He's got to run it.
And these guys to the outside. He's to the outside.
Nice play by Wasilewski as he takes it over the 50-yard line in the Tiger territory, down at the Tiger 46-yard line.
Good pressure.
44-yard line.
Some stunning in the center of that line for Southern area, and you can see Marks gets through. Number 27 also makes some great penetration. That's Henry Hynoski, and flushes Marcus out of the pocket.
Well, you don't see Wasilewski run much.
No.
The Tornado quarterback does not run nearly as much as you see other quarterbacks run. He's basically a straight drop back kind of guy. All right, it's 2nd and 5. He goes back again, rolls out. He finds... I thought it was intercepted. It's broken up in there. I thought it was intercepted by a second. Odorizzi was all over the play trying to get to Pahutski, and it brings up 3rd down and 5 now, and that was a good play by the Tigers.
Yeah, it was. Jonas Pahutski was open that time coming across, but Marcus Odorizzi, number 82, makes a beautiful recovery and almost makes the interception that time. Here comes Southern.
Delayed handoff to Kogut, and Southern was all over it.
Yeah.
Great penetration by the 2 linebackers, Hynoski and Northern.
Well, actually, they were blitzing that time. They stunned at the center of the line, and they blitzed up through it, up through the holes that were created.
So it's going to bring up a 4th down. He's brought down by Marks, but it really was the 2 linebackers that did the damage.
Tip of the ball exactly on the 45-yard line of Southern area. 4th and 5.
Red Tornadoes opt to take a timeout here in a crucial 4th down play. There's 4:07 remaining here in the football game, and a timeout on the field by the Red Tornadoes. This has gone about as good as it can possibly go for a football game. And so we've seen some great football games last week with Allentown Central Catholic.
That was a good game. Yes, it was.
And now with the rivalry that goes on between the Red Tornadoes and the Tigers, this is a great football game. Everything you could ask for in a game has happened here. The Tigers storming back. I mean, storming back.
The momentum, and they're storming back on Hynoski.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just, I mean, it's just critical. They're using him in the middle of the field all the way up, and then they sort of set you up. They're running Hynoski right, Hynoski right, Hynoski right, and then it's like all of a sudden they come back either with Conahan going the other direction. So, you know, Hynoski is the meat and butter of this team between the 20s, that's for sure.
All right, Coach Brennan will be getting out of that huddle sooner or later, unless he's going to actually run the play there. He's having a long talk with his crew in the huddle. Again, 2 great football teams playing here. The storied history of these 2 teams is absolutely unbelievable as far as success goes in Pennsylvania high school football, and you're seeing why tonight as these 2 teams clash in their annual rivalry.
Intercepted. Flag on the play. Sober, number 26, comes in from his right linebacker position and set himself up for a great interception for Southern area. Brings the ball back about 15 yards, and we have a flag on the play.
It'll be another 15 yards on an unsportsmanlike against the Red Tornadoes. So they're going to march the ball even further in the Red Tornado territory here when they mark off the unsportsmanlike penalty. They had the mark off, and they'll be set down now at the Red Tornado, just inside the Red Tornado 30-yard line, about the 29-yard line. 1st and 10, Tigers. They lead 25-21, 4:01 remaining here in the ball game. I think we'll see a steady diet of Hynoski to the right and Hynoski to the left.
Well,
if I'm Coach Roth, that's what I'd be doing.
Actually, they're running completely over Fulmer and Marks. They're 2 guarding tackles on the right side.
Hynoski, as I told you, we'd be seeing a lot of him, and he's free. He'll take it into the end zone. That's a 29-yard touchdown run by Hynoski, and the Red Tornadoes have been shocked here in the Silver Bowl. They have been rocked back on their heels from about the middle of the third quarter on here. The Tigers took control of the football game and now are at a lead of 31-21 with the extra point to follow. 3:53 remaining here in the football game. What a run by Hajnowski.
Yeah, again, he is actually picking his holes and moving from left to right. You know, and it's not very much lateral movement, but he gets that defender moving one way or the other, and his strength takes him right over.
Fulmer puts it up, and it's good. So the score will go out to Southern Columbia area 32. The Red Tornadoes of Mount Carmel area 21. Southern getting ready to kick off to the Red Tornadoes. What a football game.
Yeah,
this is the kind of game like last, you got to get money back at the gate when you're leaving. It's been that good of a football game between two fantastic football programs here in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, this is everything. We talked about this time and time again since the beginning of the season. And you knew what Southern area was coming in with to begin with. They have a veteran team and a very big team coming in. One of the largest lines that I've seen with Southern in a long time. And Mount Carmel's been playing excellent ball, and we knew head-to-head this was going to be right down to the wire and a good game.
The game with a little bit of everything. About an hour lightning delay. Rained heavy here, causing the field to slick up. We wouldn't think it did since it was so dry, but it did. Kogut now coming upfield with the ball for the Red Tornadoes, and he'll take it up over the 30-yard line out to about the 32-yard line, where it's 1st and 10 Red Tornadoes, and they have precious little time left in this football game if they expect to win at the 3:48 mark here of the fourth quarter.
Well, the defense for Southern area, especially their defensive backs, have gotten very, very tough back there after the first half. Coach Roth must have really gave them a talking to back there in the locker room, and I'll tell you what, they came out like a different team.
Hajnowski 161 yards rushing in this half alone. So it's been the Henry Hajnowski show on the same field that his father shone on so brightly here 35 years ago. Another Hajnowski. Unfortunately, he's wearing a different color for the Big Red. It'll bring up a 2nd down and 10 for the Red Tornadoes now.
Wasilewski back in shotgun formation now, and of course that went to Kufta, number 3. Kufta catches the ball and slips for a 1-yard pickup.
Official conversation here is the time on the field for a second here. Not sure what we're doing.
I don't know either. Clock?
Something wrong with the clock, maybe? He wants more time on the clock. 3:44, I believe he's asking to be put back on the clock. Clock. We're trying to get the clock reset here. There it goes. 3:43.
3:34 he wants.
All right, there we go. We want to time off the clock, not put back on. All right, so the clock now at 3:34 here. The Red Tornadoes facing a 2nd down and 9 from their own 32. Wasilewski in this shotgun, a lot of pressure this time, and he's going to be brought down about the 20-yard line there by Gallineau for the Tigers.
Yeah, he's just blitzing from that left cornerback position. He's releasing and coming through very quickly. With Marcus back there, he's got to look at the receivers a little bit quicker and decide what he's going to, if he's going to throw the ball.
All right, I'll bring up a 3rd down now and about 20 for the Red Tornadoes, as they have just been stuck offensively here in the second half. He gets Slahutski out at about the 38-yard line. Not enough for the 1st down, and it'll bring up 4th down, and maybe 4th down and about 4.
And number 25, Gallineau, making the stop there as he came across. But I think Southern has gone back into a prevent defense a little bit here. you know, having enough guys back to make sure that the Tornadoes don't take off after they make the catch.
Blocked at the line of scrimmage. Somebody got their hand on that. As he tried to throw it, it's bringing up a change of downs.
Looks like Corey Sober, number 26, makes that hit.
So at the 2:08 mark here of the fourth quarter, the Red Tornadoes turn the ball over on downs, and that pretty much seals it for the Tigers here. They're going to walk away with the win here in the Silver Bowl. All right, Heinzman brings them up. Got Hajnowski back there, and that's the guy you want to watch. He's been unstoppable here in the second half of play. Hajnowski's the blocker for number 26 down there, Corey Sober.
Corey Sober playing both directions now. He's in the backfield. He had one or two good carries. Number 20, Dave Adams, is now leaving the field for Southern area.
Both teams have 2 timeouts left, although I'm not sure either one of them
I
want
don't
to use
think
them
so
at
either.
this point. 1:40 and counting here in the football game. This time it's Sargent with the ball, the little guy. He's a bit of a change of pace.
And carries the ball and makes some good yardage, too, though. He gets all the way up close to the first down.
We haven't seen him much, but you're right. He when he does get in there, he's definitely a change of pace from the group you see.
Well, he set up that he took that punt and set up the touchdown, carrying the ball all the way down, probably about maybe 60 yards down to about the 4-yard line when he was knocked out of bounds.
Under a minute now to play here in the Silver Bowl at Mount Carmel area. You've been watching the PCN high school football game of the week, and it has been a great football game here tonight. Heinzman hands it off, and there he's brought down by the Red Tornadoes behind the line of scrimmage. Carrying the ball, number 26 once again was Sober. Brought down in there by Parkansky, number 80. 26 seconds and counting as they place the ball. They may not have to run another play here.
That's it.
And they're not going to. Ladies and gentlemen, that will bring the end of the football game here at the Silver Bowl in Mount Carmel, PA. The score, the final score, the Tigers of Southern Columbia Area 32, the Tornadoes of Mount Carmel Area 21. Just a great football game all around on both sides of the ball. Cannot say enough about the Tigers and that comeback.
Oh, definitely.
That second half comeback was everything and then some.
Hey, you don't see that too much. They were down 21-6, and they started. And, you know, you don't see that much from a high school team to come back, pull their bootstrings up, and take it from there.
Yep, I mean, it really, Hajnowski, 160-some yards in the second half. I don't know what we will hear his total in a minute. We have Jose up here. We'll get a total from him at some point, but just an all-around great performance by the Southern Tigers here as they come out victorious in this annual grudge match between these two teams. We, you know, it doesn't get any easier for the Red Tornadoes than they look down the line and are going to face their next ugly rival as it comes to rivalries, and that's the Indians of Shamokin area.
And that's away too.
Away
that's
at Kemp Memorial.
Kemp Memorial on their new surface down there, their new turf. So it should look good. And then the following week we drive all the way up to the other side of the world, I think, to Pius.
Yeah, Pius the 10th. So we don't get any easier as we go down, but this has just been a fabulous football game between these two teams. Again, you can see why they are the two most successful football teams in Pennsylvania.
Yep.
The program they have going here year in and year out. When they started to meet, we knew it was going to be a great moment. So many friends and neighbors and people involved in this rivalry on both sides. And it's a rivalry, but it's a friendly rivalry. You know, I mean, everybody's rooting for the team and all, but it's not the kind of rivalry where you're going to, you know, go out and get hit with a brick when you leave the stadium kind of thing. It's a much more easier rivalry than that. And it's a great time to play. I said you're measuring yourself up against the best. Everyone fully expects the Tigers to be in the playoff hunt again. And, you know, again this year. So You got to measure yourself by the best, and the Red Tornadoes, again, I think the third game in, we started to see the youth that we've talked about. We saw some mistakes, and we saw what really Mount Carmel has to be able to do now. Mount Carmel area is going to have to say to themselves next week, we need to find a way to stop the run. They've gotten away with the run, being bounced around on the run the last two games with a win. And they got lucky, plus they had some great quarterbacking. And again, they had a great quarterbacking job again tonight. Nothing to take away from the freshman. Made some freshman mistakes, said he would, expected he will, and he'll continue to make a few mistakes. Well, but all in all, a great football game.
What I think really happened is Southern area went back into the locker room at halftime. And I truly believe that Ross readjusted his defense a little bit, played us a little bit different in the second half than the first half, and that truly made the difference. Washaleski, Tornadoes were keeping some extra guys in the line to block. They weren't releasing it. If you look at the second half, we were only sending out one receiver at a time. Either it was Langton or it was Ambrose, and I think that was the big play, and it was the defensive play by Southern area.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, the Red Tornadoes need to find a way to stop the run. That'll be the bottom line for them next week. They don't stop the run, they're going to be in for a rough season, and they got run over tonight, especially in the second half. They had no answer for that punishing ground game. I think there were bright spots. I think they played well. Offensively, they played well until the second half when they stopped. I mean, again, I'm not taking anything away from the Southern defense. Obviously, they played great defense, but the Red Tornadoes kind of went into a shell. You know, they got a big lead, and they went into a shell, and they left to get away from them a little bit, and I think they're going to look at, too, when they look at films and say, maybe we could have been a little bit more aggressive and stayed in this football game. A learning experience for a very young team. We knew it was going to come. We knew it was going to come in the first 4 weeks because that's the worst 4 weeks of the schedule. You know, we saw that coming. They've got to get their heads up. When they leave here, they got to think they just played a championship football team, which they did, and they got to look at what they did here and improve on it, and then meet Shamokin, you know, head on down at Kent Memorial. We have Jose here. Jose, do you have the final stats? All right, we can run some final stats by you here. This is we don't always have this, but we do here at home with Jose. And Jose, you want to run them down for us now?
Yeah, Warren, real quickly. For Southern, 41 rushing attempts for 349 yards, 1 of 6 passing for 7 for a total offense of 356 yards and 13 first downs. The guy we couldn't stop, and you touched on it with Wayne, was Henry, was 23 for 253 yards. It was really an awesome performance. Conahan was 8 for 42. Heitzman was 4 for 10. Sargent 2 for 7. Gallino 3 big carries for 23 yards. And Sober 2 for 4. The 1 catch by Conahan for 7. Big punt return by Snyder, I think, was one of the things that helped turn this game around in Southern's favor. For Mount Carmel, 34 rushing attempts for 81 yards, 14 of 24 passing for 243, also with 13 first downs. Ryan Kogut, 10 for 51, John Scheiko, 9 for 19, Jacob Shinsky, 2